anyone actually watch the All-Star Game? Mike?
I did not.
I watched parts of it.
Okay, Kelly?
We were playing video game board games again last night.
So, in the tier of
yeah.
things, baseball fan.
I was working on a jigsaw puzzle.
Uh-huh.
And then
You could have had it on in the background.
Yeah, but it hadn't started yet. And
Oh,
then
okay.
after dinner, Mark was like, "You want to play around?" I was like, "Sure."
Okay.
And
I
I also don't like the All-Star Game.
Interesting, okay.
I'm not an All-Star Game person.
of all of them, though, baseball would be the one I would watch.
Baseball's the best
Yeah,
one.
baseball's the
Yeah.
best
I
one.
will agree with you there. If there's one that I would bother to tune in for, that would be the one. Probably also a byproduct of the fact that I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday. I was dead to the world in my daughter's bed at 8:30 and woke up at 9:30 like, oh, okay, yeah, I got to get up.
Yeah.
So that's part of why I didn't watch last night.
All right. Fine. Decent excuse.
But I don't know that I necessarily would have tuned it in anyway. It feels very SNL-like.
Well,
in that,
okay.
like, you don't really need to tune in. You're going to see the cool, like, 3 or 4. I loved the Sandlot bit. Watched all 5.5 minutes or whatever of the clip that they posted on the MLB Twitter account.
I thought you were
this
saying
morning.
SNL because Will Ferrell was doing the home run derby, and that was not good. No offense to Will Ferrell.
I didn't even see that part. I tuned in for like the last 12 minutes of the home run derby and saw the moment where Jordan Walker like basically looked at the Philadelphia crowd and said, "You're all going home unhappy, and I don't care about any of you."
And he's like,
I
and
thought
I'm
it was
happy,
awesome. I thought that was really cool. It was a good 12 minutes to tune in for.
It was.
But yeah, I'm not the target market for that kind of stuff. Whatever.
I only bring this up to say we're talking about how close we were to AP shooting highlights to get Rangers games. It wasn't that long ago when the Rangers won the World Series. We're talking under 3 years. Kelly, if you can run SOT 20 for me.
I wasn't ready.
She wasn't ready. Oh no.
You think about the Mets a couple years back, they had a terrible start. Diamondbacks, year before that, Rangers were terrible midway through 23, came back and won it all.
So, listen, I'm not about to try and throw Joe Davis under the bus, but I am. And
that's a bit of revisionist history.
It's a lot of revisionist history.
Yeah.
We can call it VO21 here, Kelly. This was the All-Star Game starters in 2023. 6 starters. And granted, Adolis got in later because of a sub out, but almost the entire infield, it was remarkable to see because they were really good the first half of 2023.
Yes.
And I only bring this up to say it's not to.
I think they already had 50 wins by the All-Star break.
It was 52 or 53 wins right around the break.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they were rolling. They had the best offense in the league by a wide margin. That's why they had those
That's
representatives.
so wild.
I know, it's crazy. They hit all the homers they will ever hit in that stretch. And then, they waited until the playoffs to hit the rest of them. I only bring that up to say it's like, this is part of my larger issue with sports in general. But I think one of baseball's big issues is this reluctance to lean into the small market aspect of it. And I get it. There are disparities. I mean, the Dodgers right now are the Yankees from the early 2000s. Like, disparities always existed in baseball. But when watching the celebration, because it was the 250th, obviously with the July 4th, there was a lot of Americana. They wanted to lean in and showcase the history of baseball. I'm like, you couldn't spare 2 seconds to show Corey Seager's homer from 23? It's like the Rangers World Series had never existed. And then to get to fact from their run wrong is also part of that. It's like, I'm not suggesting you need to have chapter and verse verbatim on everything. But there have been 100 of these things. The Yankees will get plenty of shine. The Cubs got plenty of shine, and they've only done one thing. They've won as many World Series as the Rangers have had in the last 100 years. So, like, by all accounts, a 2-second clip would have been nice to at least throw in there and give Texas fans a bone. That's all I'm saying. And give smaller market teams a bone, I think.
Which is wild to consider Texas a smaller market team.
It's market 4.
I know.
Market 4.
But they played like it. That's the reality.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, in terms of their history. They had the history of a small market team.
Okay, yeah.
They've played like it. They've paid like it for a lot of their history. The fact that they went and did what they did with Seager and Simeon was oh my gosh, they're actually going to spend money type of moment.
Yes.
And now they've gone small again in a lot of ways with some of their salaries just in the last year or two. So, yeah, if you don't want to be seen as a small market team, spend like it.
Right.
Like, some of this does fall at the feet of ownership. If you don't want to be looked at that way, don't act that way.
Right.
Yeah, but to your point, there are other teams. Think about a Cincinnati Reds or a Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, it's funny. Like the Pirates have had some of the best players in baseball history on their roster over the span of the century in which this game has been played in this country. But you don't look at the Pirates. I mean, I don't know how many Pirates clips were in that montage you're talking about last
the
year.
Mazeroski home run made it in there at least once.
That makes sense, yeah.
But,
and the Reds, they're going to show Charlie Hustle, even though he's banned from everything. Like but that's the fun of it,
but
right?
Even like the Rays. I mean, I know they haven't won a World Series since. I
No,
think they haven't. Right at all.
They've been. I think they've been in one 08 or 07.
2020.
No, 07 was.
I think the Mariners are the only ones that haven't been, right?
At
all.
Yes, they are the only ones that haven't been, but there are several
the Rays
that haven't
went,
won.
but didn't win.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think just on the small market argument, if you're even talking about expanding, right, to 32 teams, which is an active conversation within Major League Baseball right now, if there isn't going to be a salary cap, and who knows what's going to happen in this next CBA, but if there isn't going to be one, like there has to be a little bit more, I would think, not glamorization, but at least like
give them
TLC for some of the teams that aren't the Dodgers, the Yankees. I mean,
if all the smaller teams are there for is to buoy the Dodgers and the Yankees payroll, then what are they doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's my rant on the whole thing. That said, there was a Rangers representative yesterday, and he had actually a decent moment. It was one batter, but why not?
That's the All-Star game.
Go out, do your job.
Yeah,
he did.
He did 6 pitches, 4 of them for strikes, and struck out Luis Arias, who basically never strikes out.
It's just crazy. It made it
Pretty
look
impressive.
bad on the
Yeah.
strikeout too. Like it was really good.
It was also, I mean, he also has one of the lowest swing and miss rates in baseball. Arias does.
Goodbye, sir.
And that's what struck him out. I mean, he had to laugh at it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he was laughing, but he walked off like one of those.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Smiles. But awesome moment for Jacob Latz, who's been so good. I mean, his story.
1.61 ERA. Ridiculous.
Well, and I mean, he's talked about this openly, but just the entire journey that he's been on, dating back to his days in college, and then for this season to be competing for that 5th and final starter spot in the rotation. He's talked about how much he wanted that. He worked all offseason to get that. That was one of his goals coming into the year, and then for that to be taken from him and for him to not even skip a beat and immediately shift his mindset to say, okay, now I'm going to be the best reliever pitcher for the team, and now I'm going to be the best closer. I think you hear so often how mental baseball is, and how I would say it's kind of like golf in the way that it's almost as equally important to be mentally strong in baseball as it is to be physically strong.
Yeah.
And I think he embodies that really well. It's awesome for him to get an All-Star recognition.